Thank you very, very much, Chris Puckett. Wow, it just feels right saying that. Rolled right off the tongue and straight into our hearts. Not going to be standing up for quite a while. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do it. It's opening weekend here. The 2023 season, myself and Chance ready to rock and roll into what will be a ridiculous year of Call of Duty. Chance, you look great. How you doing?
Dude, we got the Puckett intro. Like, that warms my heart on like an unparalleled level. I mean, it's a brand new day of Call of Duty. It's the start of a brand new game. So like the hot takes are going to be out and about. The first player that drops a 40 bomb, best player in the game. The first player that drops double digits in S&D, best S&D player in MW2. So we're here for the sarcasm. We're here for the hot takes, and hopefully here for the hot gameplay as well.
Well, we've got a lot of fun gameplay to look forward to. Of course, 4 games a day until we get, of course, towards the Raleigh Major, starting things off with an absolute bang, my brother. I mean, God, I have no idea what to expect. We've watched plenty of scrims. We've played plenty of the mosh pit to the players we met today. Sorry, guys, it was brutal. But a lot of fun ahead of us. It's going to be a wild and crazy year of Call of Duty, and Modern Warfare 2 is already smashing records and all sorts. We're going to see what happens here in the competitive side of things. Brother, I mean, high-level expectations for the day. We've got our maps and modes here in a moment.
I mean, what do you want? Like, you could talk about like expectations on different maps that we're going to see, right? We're going to have the Michael Phelps Award once we go over to like HyDra to see who's going to have the best rotations. I think without question, Mercado Las Almas is like the best map to like just say out loud. Like, it's just fun. So like, I want a map 5 just to actually read the title, but I'd say maybe the most interesting map we actually have in this list is probably going to be Fortress Control, because this is one of those maps that like, it's kind of interesting on what teams are going to elect to actually play it, because I mean, for me, it's like shades of Gavutu, of just being absurdly defense slated. And of course, well, Gavutu, a lot of the gameplay was stagnant. On Fortress, not so much. There's going to be a lot of gunfights, but just a lot of spawn traps as well. So it's just going to be fun to see the strats of like teams trying to like, you know, find ways to get out of like even just off the opening break to make it out of your spawn is not always an easy task. So I just want to see what the pro players have cooked up. That way I can start doing it with my own gameplay, because I tell you, I struggle.
Well, we will be seeing, of course, Fortress coming up in this series. A very defensively heavy map. That's the way we are presenting it thus far. But expect all that to change, especially throughout the entire season. As we all know and love, the Call of Duty competitive world. Things change, guns change, map strategies change, and God only knows what this game will look like towards the end. We say it every year, and I tell you what, every single year it comes through. Keen for a bit of HyDra, mate. I thought that was going to get banned out in the vetoes. Of course, you can now see on the graphics who does pick and ban which map and who doesn't want which one, which is very exciting. But more of that in a moment. Chance, we're very, very close to getting to the first game, to getting the season kicked off and underway. High-level calls here, brother. Of course, FaZe looking strong, but a new look Boston.
I mean, you say high-level calls. I feel like most people's expectations for this one is just going to be like FaZe all the way, right? I don't necessarily know if like the roster change that they made could be considered an upgrade, because I think like last year they were the most consistent team right towards the top, and I think it's the same thing this year. Everyone expects like the same kind of thing, and now it's just Slasher in sort of that main AR spot. But it is going to be fun to see what these guys can do. The expectations have always been high for the squad, and on the flip side, I mean, this is a very good look at a Boston team awakening on a brand new roster. If you want to figure out how good you are, Atlanta FaZe is quite literally the perfect team to test yourself off with. And I mean, hey, aBeZy, not a bad map to get things going.
No, we start things off here, ladies and gentlemen. The first map of the 2023 season, and everybody is dressed to impress. Here we go. Into the hard point.
They actually look so good. But yeah, Slasher, he'll be right up to the power positions. I mean, this is kind of going to be like the most difficult hill in the game, I would say, for this year to actually collect a lot of time. It is incredibly open, but I mean, so far, Boston, not too shabby. Just a little chunk off the rip, but of course, with these annoying angles, with Simp down low with the Vastnev, with the open lines of sight with the ARs, not easy to stay alive.
Look for these close engagements time and time again. Awakening a nice 2 in the feed there, as we've got 25 seconds remaining here on the first hard point here on aBeZy. Again, the state of the game right now, the way pros are playing this one out, expect to see rotations going down very, very early. And by that, we mean heading towards the next hard point location and trying to get your team in the best possible spot. So far, though, so good for Boston. 20 plus, well, nearly 20 seconds of climbing, as they're doing the very best they can to hold Atlanta FaZe at bay.
Yeah, and aBeZy, brand new haircut and brand new style, just trying to keep these players at bay. I think there was discussion about him trying to play a little bit more rattier, so you see the corner he's trying to tuck himself inside of, but while he's doing that, Atlanta FaZe actually just collecting the time. Now, it's not the perfect hold for the moment, plenty of pressure around the hill. Methodz inside, there to take him down. Trophies out and abound. Nice little contest time for Boston.
Trophies either side though, so not a lot of projectiles going to make their way through. aBeZy perfect pinch, cleaned up. That's a clean break and a good hold now for Atlanta FaZe. Watch that score line change. The question now remains, how long can they hold it? 30 seconds remain. Here come Boston.
Maybe just one more push to try to get these guys off the point, but it is ARs everywhere. This is going to be something to keep track of, by the way, for every single hill, for every single map. The number of Vastnefs compared to the number of like M4s that are going to be used. Because I saw Simp pulled out the Vastnef at the start, already made the switch to the M4. On this hill as well, aBeZy, M4 in hand. So it is going to be hill to hill specific of like what the AR SMG meta is going to be. And right now, it's definitely M4 dominant.
Yeah, it's a lot of M4s so far. Cellium, another man with an M4 on your screen. 4-1 since he last dropped. So looking to get himself kill streaks. He does have a precision airstrike and the SAE in the back pocket. We'll see that come into play a little bit later on. The chain, though, doesn't come through. Boston breach. They've got hardpoint number 3 in their hands. Top AC. And Simp, the wind in his hair as he flies forward, but Zinni takes clean care of him. aBeZy now, next man up to the plate. Will he give Methodz his 3rd kill from atop this spot? Looking to get streaks as well. And again, a solid hold at a Boston breach chance. And we are seeing it time and time again already here on aBeZy. It's all about the hold.
And you just see how, yep, the hold is going to be good because the break is that difficult. The double trophies on the hill, a head glitch posted up for the ARs, and that is a ton of time. Nero is just going to be able to soak up the final 20 seconds guaranteed for him. And a massive rotation. Every gunfight going over towards New. It's trades for the moment. And it's looking like FaZe will at least be in the hill first. And yet the trades are on point. The teamwork is there. Strong moves over towards New for FaZe. But for the moment, down by 30.
Again, the move over towards New could be huge. We'll see if this is a perfect 60 in just a moment. Eyes on the players from Boston with a bit of parkour now to try to breach and enter the aBeZy. Now on the inside, Vivid has an opportunity to maybe get that opening pick, but so far it's all FaZe in the kill feed. Backline, not safe. Vivid now caught out and aware. This is going to be a much better looking hold now as the rest of his teammates make their way forward. But still, clock ticking, a lot of time gone, all Atlanta FaZe.
Yeah, Boston finally have like cleared out the back spawns, but I mean, it's not like it's not being wrecked for the moment. Slasher on the heady through the back door, able to just rip them. And Boston, that might be a moment where they drop the ball because they put that effort to get those back spawns, but it's not looking like they're going to get the scrap. It would have been a farther rotation. Number 7 Awakening actually just basically spawns up at New. So hey, you can avoid getting spawn trapped just by randomly spawning out. That's the way to do it.
Great work out of Slasher already. 5 spree in his hands, 12 and 5 overall. Beautiful work, and it is going to be a perfect 60. Chalk it up for Atlanta FaZe. That's the lead in their hands firmly. Rotation now going down. Cellium, the man on your screen, he is above the hard point. If he can make these entry kills and set his boys up, this could be another massive moment as both FaZe and Boston breach trading these hard points back and forth.
And they're just waiting to pounce, and Slasher maybe waiting for streaks as well as the timing. You see 2 of his teammates on the other side working to pinch, so that's where he makes his move. It is perfect, and hey, Slasher might not have gotten the streaks, but that is a calculated break. They took their time to make it happen. And now they get to let it run.
Prisma's out in the back pocket. That's going to be streaks acquired now, and that's the lineup there from Cellium. Gets the first kill towards the side of the hard point, and this is not a chain technically. You're going to get at least a little bit of time out of this one for Boston breach, but for now, it's a glorious bit of work as Boston now making their way forward. aBeZy with a tactical retreat. Pressure is now mounting. Has to now dip out of the fight, and the pinch is on. Can he stay alive? The Wonder Kid from out every year of the CDL he's performed in. His teammates are there. Simp's backing him up, and the break is there. A final 10 seconds to FaZe. Boston looking towards next.
And I gotta say, for Atlanta FaZe, this is just like phenomenal patience that's coming through. Of like the timing's on the break, aBeZy not flying into death, and he's talking about the rattier style. You can see he has actually slowed the pace down a decent bit, but where he falls, I think really the success we saw from Boston came from what? The AC Hill, a little bit of success on P1, and then top AC, they got a near full 60. Otherwise, it's been nothing but Atlanta.
Beautiful stuff out of Atlanta. And this man on screen, 15 and 7 for Slasher, the new man in the team, replacing Nastie after last season and already looking very, very comfortable here in the red. Awakening the man up top now, looking to get his boys back into the hard point. Over 100 points we now cross for Boston breach, and sorely needed time as Awakening, the man we have touted as to be one of the more dangerous individuals in the league, a little slow here. 9 kills so far to the 11 deaths, but he's looking to add a couple more to the pile, keeping his teammates safe and sound on the point. Beautiful work. Boston not out of this yet.
And this is honestly about as good as it could really get for a P1 hold. You get a player inside the hill just staying alive. Owakening gets to be the man from the heavens above just with the coverage. But when you're sort of on that like AC side of the map, it just makes the pressure on this rotation that much more difficult. All the Atlanta players, though, they're totaled up around the hill, getting broken down for the moment. And you talk about a break that Boston needs, and you talk about the break that they're going to get. It's aBeZy, last man standing. Other than him, it is nothing but the breach around the hill.
What a turnaround for Boston Breach. We're going to see a lead change here, but what we will go into for the first time this season is a listen in with Atlanta FaZe.
One time.
Time.
Truck that. Let's get the back. He's on the truck. I died. Gotta get that time. Gotta get that time, guys.
Yeah, one shot.
Come on, middle. I have your middle.
Yeah, nice.
I have your middle.
I have your holds right now. There's no time. I'm streak for new.
I have ace in defense. Yeah, it's your time. Yeah, I'm watching over you.
I'm about to pinch. I'm gonna pinch deep. Leaving you? I'm going
I think
over inside
you
before.
guys.
I have a Sheik.
Okay, we should try and get orange then now.
Yeah, probably.
I'll
I'm
see
pinching all the
planners.
inside before.
Okay, they're playing Megatide, I think. I'm gonna go launcher. I'm gonna challenge
Top AC on you. He's right above you. Top AC weak. Sorry, step before. One shot dead.
Top AC dead.
Orange stop.
Orange. One shot orange. Absolute in orange.
That's
He's still there. Nice, good up.
28
I
plat.
need a trophy. I need a trophy though.
I'm trying to get the trophy.
I'm gonna die orange. I'm one shot. Not because you're
Back alley.
Oh, you fucking trolled.
Back. Dead. Watch your ladder.
I have your ladder.
Okay, I bought him orange.
I have your ladder.
Play your pinch.
Orange,
one shot dead.
Nice. Could be ladder, Chris.
This is really good 30 right now, no bullshit.
And take a listen to that, man. The AC hill where Boston had all the success last time. We heard Atlanta FaZe break it down. It is the super mega tight setup. And funnily enough for Boston, somehow no one watching the ladder. aBeZy jumps up top, absolutely fries him in a break on that hill. Honestly, that's going to be the play of the game.
It's an outstanding run so far from Atlanta FaZe, and they are running all the way to the finish line. First to 250 in the hard point for now, and Boston Breach have been stunned and silenced here on Embassy. Slasher, 21-13 from the back line, looking to make the entries now. aBeZy leading the charge with a spree. That's going to be the hard point. That's the break. That's FaZe for the win.
And they are just inside the hill, posted up, every single angle covered. Vastnev M4, it does not matter. The pressure inside the point in the final seconds potentially ticking through. You're gonna have to, stack through the hallways to try to make this happen. And maybe you'll get the early break. Maybe you survive for just a moment, but they still got a long way to go.
It's 10 seconds for the win now for FaZe. Boston now holding on with the skin of their teeth. Can they find it? There's 30 seconds on this point. You have to not only win every second here, but also hit the next rotation. Not going to be an easy thing to do. We'll see what Cellium can do from the back line. Simp now cracking through those double doors. Nero wins the fight. Massive hold. Methodz as well. Nero with 2. The hard point still in the hands of Boston. All 4 down for FaZe.
I mean, hey, they at least forced that rotation. You do have Vivid over in the mix. He's going to be towards the hill first. You got Owakening on the cross, so you have all of your cuts for the moment. And you're still down by about 70, but the kills are going their way. They still have most of the crosses. Down but not out. Breach, they're trying to cook something up in Kitchen.
The Kitchen is up next. We're in there now. Over to Nero. The spree comes to a close. Here comes FaZe and knocking, flying through. Oh my, big 2-piece from Zinni upstairs. Over to the bottom side of the point. And his teammates are winning the fights as well. My good golly. This is not over yet. Methodz with another. It's a 5 spree trophy. And now teammates in here. This game ain't over yet.
Oh yeah, this is the crunch time. This is where you start to feel the pressure in that momentum ship at FaZe. They're getting picked apart where they're trying to set up the pinch. Bottom's been open, but Vivid right now has Cellium trapped in. A couple trades coming through. Question is, can Methodz hold these players off?
Here he goes. Shots there. Cellium with a big win now. The break's on for FaZe. That's going to be it. Surely Vivid can't get anything done. The last man alive. No way in 5 seconds can Methodz get there. No. Atlanta FaZe. 1 break was all it took. A good map 1 for them. And I tell you what, bruv, it's going to be a fun season already.
Oh, baby. I mean, that is just, nerve-wracking from both sides. That was a nice attempt. I mean, if Methodz picks up 1, maybe both of those kills towards the end, who knows? But I would say most of the game, it definitely felt like Atlanta FaZe just incredibly patient on the breaks. And sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. But more often than not, eventually they found that success. I think really the biggest mistake, or the only, flaw in the gameplay, was Boston on that AC hill the second time around. For whatever reason, no one had eyes on ladder. aBeZy had the perfect timing, and you break a money hill like that, and obviously that was a big difference maker towards the end. But FaZe, to the surprise of literally nobody, absolutely slaying out all 4 players across the board, heavily positive. And Simp and Slasher enjoying each other's company, 26 and 28 kills respectively, all the damage in the world.
Massive work there out of Simp. Chris Lair, one of the more terrifying Call of Duty players in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. Don't let that funny name fool you guys. He's dangerous. Here are the highlights from map number 1. And again, a little slow. It was a decent start from Boston, but that slow mid-game chance, they just could not keep up with Atlanta FaZe, managing to chain those hard points together. Brilliant setups, not letting Boston get close. You see how difficult it is in this game to get a break done. It takes patience. It takes coordinated, what's it? Speed and precision, a little bit of violence thrown in there. It's not an easy thing to do whatsoever in MW2.
No, not at all. And, I think Mercado is probably the most extreme example when it comes to the hard point, but aBeZy, you get a taste of it as well, of sort of, if you're having success on one hill, more than likely you're losing the rotation towards next. So it's like an exchange game, because I think for Boston both times, decent bit of success on P1, difficult rotations over towards P2, and it's just sort of like that back and forth style of trying to maximize your points as much as you can. But again, with one big mistake coming through, with all of the slang in the world going towards Atlanta FaZe, maybe not a comfortable win towards the end, but I'd say fairly convincing, certainly for the lead that they had. So 1-0 up towards the Fortress S&D we go. And I mean, Miles, if we want to stay on the Atlanta FaZe side of things, I think Search and Destroy, while they've always been good, definitely took a bit of a dip between Cold War and the Vanguard season. And I'd have to imagine, especially with bringing on a guy like Slasher, this is the game mode where they're looking to crank things up.
Yeah, Slasher known for his solo plays when it comes to Search and Destroy. We call him an island player. He typically doesn't play with the rest of the squad. He plays on the other side of the map, and he creates opportunities and hits those late flanks. And I tell you what, friends, he's a dangerous player. All the way back from the start of the CDL in Modern Warfare 2019, we saw him do some magnificent things there back on OGLA. Wow, what a throwback. Yes, we're all getting older, 1 year at a time. For Slasher, the gameplay still looking very, very young. Excited to see what they can cook up here on Fortress. Now, of course, we didn't want, Boston Breach did not want to play aBeZy coming into this one, so we'll see how well they fare here on Fortress, as everyone's getting refreshed. Beastbot Josh in the background there, the coach for the team, and everyone there on Boston Breach, the bearded band of brothers. Chance.
I mean, look, if the facial hair is on point, if you got the chem in that category, maybe you could translate that into gameplay. But I think, honestly, well, I guess we gave Atlanta FaZe their due. They have like the new S&D style. This is the situation for Boston where it's just like, we need to see these players evolve. I mean, especially guys like Nero, even Awakening, literally just across the board, incredible pop-off potential. But the difference maker is like finding the way just to like bring that level of consistency. Like Nero's the guy that's like setting kill records. Like he had the King of the Cage record on Bocage last year.
Yes.
I think he's dropping like the 17 kills, 16, 17 at one point in Search and Destroy. So like absurd potential all across this roster. It's just finding like the way to like level it up, and whether that's about like the chemistry with your teammates, whether that's a communication thing, whether that's of like, hey, my best situation is when I'm flying, I need to find the situations where I need to slow down. Whatever all these like little like X and O sort of minute switches that these players can make, if they find ways to evolve, I mean, these guys could be devastatingly good. Like you saw the comeback they nearly orchestrated on aBeZy. When things are good for this team, it's gonna be great. The question is, how often can they make it happen? And then to backtrack, I mean, you're talking about Slasher, the island player, the pick-heavy style that he can bring to Search and Destroy. That's just an added weapon, because you also have aBeZy, the literal first blood machine on your squad. So, I mean, I think they have to have like the most well-rounded Surge gameplay in the league. Like they can snipe as well. There are no weaknesses in this game mode. It's just about whether or not they can sort of bring it together. And you see Slasher, I mean, he was throwing up, top 5 S&D in the game stats last year, and now he's got the brand new team.
Brand new team, brand new look here on Fortress. A and B bomb sites we have eyes on here. Vivid with the old snippy snips, and it's not a great start. He's gonna have to back on up. Heavy tags, no kill though. The LAB, another one of the snipers we're seeing here in MW2. Different looks across the board. That bank's going to land. Pass on some information, but not a whole lot, though. The rest of the team now lining up for this one, but heavy stack over towards A on the offensive side here for FaZe.
Look at that angle both Slasher and Vivid are trying to work with. He's trying to take him to the lab, but you're also taking him to the flank. Yep, Nero finds the opening, so Boston just suffocating so far in this round. And nobody making mistakes. It's Cell and aBeZy no longer working together. The First Blood machine needs all 4.
Everyone has to be very, very quiet. We heard Nameless talk about this on the opening segment here. Nero, the door, covered it, sorted. Boss and breach round 1. And before I could get the thought out, you have to be very quiet in Search and Destroy. Everyone's wearing very heavy, very loud boots. Nero knows, one way or the other, aBeZy's coming. And Vaznev rings out a good first round.
And it's really just a perfectly played round as well, right? I think Owakening gets the First Blood down towards the P1 side of the map. That's an opening for Nero to play a little bit more aggressive, get a little bit more of that map control, and just try to trap these players in. I mean, aBeZy is a very tiny map, but especially if you're on the attack, not a lot of places you can go aggressively, but Boston's giving it a try. That is 3 players trying to get out towards the P1 side of the map, and it doesn't last too long. A couple trades coming through, and you see in the feed, Boston are trying to bully. It's not easy. And Owakening might have the intel, but Owakening also the last man alive. Does have Deady popped.
Last man alive. Deady pops. So Dead Silence now activated. He's not going to make nearly any noise as he scuttles across the map, but he's not going to be invisible. This ain't no invisibility cloak, but your boy is moving. With a little bit of pep in his step. Can't check every single corner. Great work from FaZe. There is the equalizer. Now, for those of you watching, of course, here on Twitch, enjoy that new calling card if you've been viewing since the start. Drops are enabled, ladies and gents.
And I mean, Miles, I know I talked about how hot takes on day 1, but I just thinking of the Vanguard season for Atlanta, where like at the start of the year, there's a lot of complaints from the squad. Their heads weren't entirely in it. Their focus wasn't in the right spot. We just saw incredibly patient gameplay for the breaks on map 1. And even there, that was an instant setup from those guys in the 2 versus 1 of let's cover each other's crosses, get cornered up, and just making sure that they have everything dialed in. So right now, Atlanta's looking very well prepared.
Different look though in this round. They've pushed towards A, but they're not exactly sending it. Whoa, Nero's little fingertips got spotted out there. Tags in, no kill. Just trying to breach the fortress quite literally right now is Nero.
It's going to be interesting timing with him and Simp as well. Yep, Simp knows he's there. He jumps on it as well. First blood for Atlanta.
That's huge. Now you got a bit of an option to work your way forward. Simp finds his second of the round and a delightful dolphin dive out. Owakening ends the spree. aBeZy there making things that a bit hard enough for Boston. Before I could even finish the sentence, Methodz the last man left there as Simp. A powerful 2 kills to start the round off. aBeZy's compact trade manages to get himself into the second there. The trades are on point, Chance, and Atlanta FaZe looking good so far in the search.
And nice little adjustment as well, right? Owakening on the first round where he was on defense, gets a pick on the P1 side of the map. This time, Simp and Slash are working together, and they knew exactly where Nero was, trying to hit the hop-up spot. And as soon as they get that intel, I mean, they just go and pounce and pick him apart. And I can't remember who it was down low, but Simp definitely ready. He brought this trap. I know a lot of talk about the Vaznev versus the M4. Make no mistake, the Vaznev shreds.
Yeah, it's disgusting. All the guns in this game are disgusting, let's be honest. Except for the mini bag. Except for the mini bag. Never found that one to work out quite well. Dead Silence popped. Awakening though. Nice shots in. Atlanta FaZe are starting to bleed out here. 2v4. It's Simp and aBeZy. The terrors. And one of them are taken care of. What can Simp do? The first 1v4 of the season. It's on the cards. There's the opening kill. 1v3. As he's now got to kill 3 members of Boston Breach and defuse the bomb in 35 seconds.
Yeah, and it's also in a situation like this, you don't want to necessarily pop Betty and just go for it. So as soon as he gets a little bit closer, you're going to see all those Boston arrows turn once they hear him, and he'll just make the noise himself, throws the stun, and I mean, there's just too many things to check and not enough time to work with.
Let's see if he can gun Methodz though. He's going to back on up sensibly. Will he get another kill out of this? No, that is that. The round is done. Breach. Watertight work there on offense. Fantastic stuff.
And big picks as well. I can't remember who got the first. Might have been Nero,
Awakening.
but even towards well, yeah, and Awakening got the next one on Slasher as well. Then again, just locking down that flank slide slash like P1 side of the map. So the picks have reigned supreme, and I think effectively, yeah, it's aBeZy. It's like a lot of TDM when it comes to S&D on this one. Maybe a couple quick plants will come out every now and again once you get the trophies out on offense, but I think First Bloods will definitely dictate the pace, as those are some very blue eyes on Simp.
Don't let those baby blues fool you. He's a demon. A lot of demons in this lobby. We affectionately call Awakening Demon Joe. Nero, though, has been the superstar of Search and Destroy for this roster. Oh, an opening, and he catches 2. Slasher caught unaware. Not any more to be had in the round, though. 2v2. Vivid now on the A-bomb site. Will aBeZy sniff him out? I don't think he's got any clue. Chance, just over a minute to go.
Yeah, no, they have no intel. They're worried about the flank. They have no idea Vivid's pressured up. So Owakening Vivid basically had the entire map trapped. We spot out Vivid and just rips him. One small mistake and, well, now a 1v2 for Big Wake. Good luck with this one.
Owakening, the man with many nicknames. Big Wake, Demon Joe. We've seen Giga Wake come out a few times. Terrifying sight to behold. Just over 30 seconds to make this 1v2 happen. Cellium with the eyes on the stairs towards the gallows, towards that bomb site. And here comes FaZe. They've thrown their nades. Owakening time this right. Spots ahead. Damage dealt. Here comes the challenge. He's done a lot of damage. Not enough time to get the kill, though. Now, ticking away, slowly but surely. Empty pockets. No dead silence to work with either, so he's thundering across the map. Here comes the final hit. FaZe unaware. FaZe! Oh my Big Wake! They line up for him. And he's going to take the lead with a sensational round.
Absolutely godlike on that one. Does so much damage even with the Semtex on the front end. And I think both the players on FaZe were probably so weak that they're like, he's going to chow quickly. Like, I have to be here for the coverage. And I mean, 0 time wasted without the dead silence. That is a perfectly played 1v2. And talk about a massive one for the round as well. That'll put Boston up. That's a little bit of momentum, and that is some world champs that he just brought the gunny to.
You know, the best thing is he just went,
yep,
nice, that's good, nice. And the rest of the team is probably super high. But Owakening 7-3. With a slight lead now. We're over the halfway mark for Boston Breach. First to 6 here in Search and Destroy.
Oh, and aBeZy, by the way, aggressive on the A site. More or less left by himself. And I was going to say, that just means an opportunity to catch him out. Nice work there by Nero. Man advantage, and there's no rush on the bomb plant. They're waiting for Atlanta to overpeak and maybe make a mistake. Cellium does not bite.
Another one for Wake. Adds it to the pile. Simp and Cellium last members left alive now for Atlanta FaZe in the 2v4 retake. Bomb planted. Good luck. Have fun.
And I mean, what do you even do? No room to flank, no room to hit through the front. Perfect snakes coming out of Nero, and maybe a little snake battle on the front end. But yeah,
Boink.
Absolutely
Boink.
Nowhere to go. And Boston Breach, man, putting in some work. All the talk we did about Slasher with the pick-heavy style, I think Owakening versus Slasher for the moment, he's like 3-0, 4-0 against him. So Awakening, he's got the clutches, he's got the number on the picks, and Boston now with a nice little 4-2 lead.
A tidy one, a comfortable one. We're going to keep rolling, see if the momentum right now for Boston Breach can get them all the way across that finish line. Because this has been a great look for them. They're taking the first bloods, they're playing the setups, and they're not letting those gunfights get away from them. 8-3 for Owakening. Beautiful work. It's a nice opening kill there. 2 for Simp. How did that happen?
Yeah, that's one of those rounds, you know, Simp just goes and wins it for you. Can't complain about that. And I mean, funny enough, I was watching almost like the psychology of Slasher getting forced in a corner because he can't find the picks, but Awakening is now being singled out, and I don't know if Slasher's going to be the man to finish the job. He's got to send in his teammates for the bait.
Hold on. How did Awakening kill Simp in that situation? He was like stunned on the floor. Simp ran over it. What in the name of all things Fortress? Well, Slasher gets there in time. And that's the final kill. So FaZe, another one on the belt. Back at it we go.
Yeah, Slasher getting back down just a little bit, having to make those mid-round and mid-game adjustments, as it were. But hey, bait out a teammate, get a little bit of confidence flowing, and get ready for the next round. But shout out to Simp for that one. He wins it for him with a 2-piece off the opening break.
Unreal. We'll see what he does this time round. Priestahh, world champion MVP. Back in Cold War. Who's their world champ there? A sensational crew he's had so far, and here we have it. Slasher has eaten everything thrown at him. Done. Finally. He's had his fill. He's done. Back over to Simp now, trying to get into the fight. Tags are there. Can't get either of them done. Boston Breach, the firing squad from inside the fortress. The cannons get the job done. Good round.
And just there for the coverage. I think it might have been Vivid that was in the back window that's able to jump down and help out his boy. And it's Vivid there towards the end to finish off the final kill. But we saw the strat from Atlanta try to get aggressive out on towards that A site, but couldn't deliver on the first blood. Way too many nades after the fact. And now the pressure is on. See if they can make the comeback that Boston nearly orchestrated in map 1. Not an easy map to make these comebacks on, though. Down 5-3. Boston in full control.
And this plays nothing like my game. This is kind of lit. I was hating on Fortress S&D. But this is a spicy start. Owakening is not going to get kill number 11. We have slowed the pace right down now with Boston Breach on map point.
And this is just so many players stacked up, bottom green, top maps, just ready for someone on Boston to overcommit and make a mistake. But Boston, no one's over aggressive. I mean, you have Vivid been watching the A cross the entire time, so I think Boston maybe just saving the nades and saving the tacks for once they get a little bit of intel.
Intel's what you're playing for right now. Oh, Nero spots from the cross. That's enough information for now. Is that going to push FaZe to now make a play? Damage dealt, but not enough to pull Nero into the gunfight because you know FaZe have got teammates to lock that kill down. You take the bait, you are one dead fish.
And this is bold, man. This is the bomb leaning towards trying to cross towards B, and
Here he comes,
this is
here
a
he
near
comes.
impossible task, and that is a reason why Nero for the first blood gets the second to follow up. You got bombed down, you got Slasher and Cell in a 2v3 with no time to work with.
No time to work with. The go button has been hit. Less than 20 now on the clock. Cleaned up. Nero finds himself another great round out of Nero. Cellium, last man left alive. 1v3. Nearly impossible. Time working against him. Vivid is there for the kill. Boston Breach get the job done, and they level up the series.
And just a stranglehold on the map towards the end. I mean, all their bases covered. You had Owakening up his top second, Nero to watch the cross. This time with an M4. Instead of getting caught out with the Vastnev in hand, trying to do the fancy jump spots, he knows where the child's going to be coming from. And there was no pressure on the A-bomb site on offense in that moment. So I'd say a comfortable moment for Boston. No mistakes made. Get the job done. And this is the interesting thing, by the way, in my mind, about like Fortress control. It doesn't entirely matter who you necessarily think the better team is. It is going to be like who can capture more ticks, like get more segments just to pull defense for that round 5. In my mind, that's going to be the name of the game. So I think it's a little bit of luck on your side to get you a map win for aBeZy Fortress control. So this is a massive opportunity in my mind for Boston to go up 2-1 in the series.
And what a sensational turnaround for, again, the predictions all over the place as we tie up the series 1-1. A great look there on Search and Destroy from Boston Breach. And we were banging the drums saying that FaZe were going to be amazing at Search and Destroy. Yeah, it was all right, but you didn't account for Big Wake. And I doubt the fans did either. What a fantastic start to the series. We're now our first commercial break. Here as we roll on towards Control. We're going to be playing on Fortress right after this one, friends. Don't go too far.
Upgrade your game with a Scump, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. Map number 3 is waiting in the wings as we go now to play Control on Fortress, Al-Bagra Fortress to be precise, which if you have dropped into Al-Mazrah, know it is a dangerous and horrible place and you should never go there because me and Chance are there. It was nice to see that in the chat as well. Mate, who are we going to Fortress? Defense heavy. What are your takes?
Look, it's going to be the most defensive heavy map in this game. I think it almost has to be. It is operation. Just if you're on defense, spawn trap them. Get posted up with ARs and like top dub or top art. Have one guy to watch the left side of the map, and like 2 guys can legit pin back an entire team of 4. So if you're on offense, it is get some map control, and you can literally never afford to let it go. If you get 4 down on offense, that's just straight up might decide your round. So I don't know if like teams are going to have like sneaky stuff for like opening breaks to get out. You basically just have to get players alive in the enemy's base and just be annoying and go for spawn kills. I don't know if it's going to be as stacked as Gavutu. I doubt it'll be that defensive heavy. And there's obviously a lot more potential on a map this small just to win rounds on kills, but I don't know exactly what we're going to see is like what teams sort of like set the standard of this is how you play offense, because at least for me, I'm very much still struggling with it.
Yeah, it's tricky, but we'll see how our professional players handle things. Some of the finest in the world going at it right now. It's basically a 2-2 split across the map for a defensive team. Atlanta FaZe will be on defense first. And into trouble you go. Nero. Oh my God.
Yep,
Vivid finds a second. This is it. They're flying. Cellium. Oh, he finally slows them down. Will he get any more than just the one? As he tries to roam the fortress holes and keep things safe.
And that's my expectation of like try to be annoying on the map, open things up, because Cellium right now can't afford to really look out these windows because he knows there's players underneath and behind him. So you got to get the pressure in and around green. And even if you do a good job, as soon as you get wiped, you're sort of back to square one. Now B is a little bit open.
Oh no.
But maybe not for long. Simp is there.
Keep an eye on that mini-map, top side. You need to have at least one way out of your spawn if you're Boston Breach. The offensive team are doing the best they can. And right now, premium real estate owned. And Awakening, man, he's got his name on the deed. He is running the show right now for Boston Breach. He's creating a lifeline. Now the flood now. The teammates can make their way towards B. They're getting there, but Simp's going to get those kills. Vivid, a second kill here would be huge. Wait for the reinforcements to show up. They're here. aBeZy, no, managed to get it done. Defense holds, all down in Methodz to keep this play alive.
And keep in mind, literally any segment that goes by on offense can have massive value long term. So Atlanta FaZe doing a nice job of making sure that doesn't come through, but still decent bit of pressure. As long as you have players up in the base around bottom green, you already see the first tick on A has come through. So Boston starting to make moves. This is a little bit of success.
Whoa, Methodz, massive work there. Up close and personal against Simp. Catches out another kill. The progress towards A now flying forward. The second segment gone. Only one remains, and you're going to see another minute added to the game clock.
Yeah, this is beautiful right now for Boston, and they should be able to secure it nice and safe inside of that. Not an 18-wheeler, the back truck, whatever it is, but they secured. Already fantastic work. And keep in mind, up 5 lives right now on kills. Boston are really pushing the pace.
Pushing forward, trying to get themselves in there. Cellium, nice bit of work through the door there. That's going to keep B safe for now, but you still got a decent amount of lives for Boston to throw at this one. 15 lives remaining. Time going their way as well. Let's see how B gets hit.
Oh, nades up top as well. That should be good for maybe a little bit of damage or to back the players out of the window. They're able to get up towards B consistently, like through A1 or through A2. They have the pressure on. Now it's just about the kills. They're collecting the kills as well, stopping the clock on point, and still that life advantage.
Methodz just lying just in wait there towards that archway. One of the A's Chance just brought up a second ago. There's a big kill. There's still a contest though. You have to clean this player off of it, and that's not going to work out. Simp and aBeZy, the Terrors, doing exactly what they do best. They don't let the first segment go through. They drain it all the way back to square one. Boston back to the drawing board.
Well, at least Boston still have the pressure on the map, though. It's not like they're getting pinned back in their spawn. They're consistently able to get up towards this green area of the map. So this is about as good as I think you could really expect things to get on offense. And another big win. Plenty of time. Only need 6 now, make it 5 more kills, and Boston could just instantly win the first offensive round of the year.
No, unbelievable. All expectations destroyed. aBeZy, though, he's doing what he can. Vivid up next, another huge 1v1 win. It is 4-7. No lives remaining for Atlanta FaZe.
Can you imagine all that setup we did about being defense heavy? Boston just wastes 0 time of frying from round 1, making us eat our words.
Crazy. Well, here comes Boston. One sledgehammer blow. and they could knock Atlanta FaZe clean on their backs. eBeZy blinded away. Slasher devours
The
one.
trades.
Here come the trades. The trades are on. 2v5. Cellium wins another one. 10 seconds remaining, and this is going absolutely down to the wire. FaZe may just be able to stay alive. Can Cell get a kill here? 1v1 against Big Wayne, gets it! Simp! Oh my goodness, Breach! I think it was 2 seconds on the clock! What a round!
Dude, and like already, I want this stat so bad. I want to fast forward a month or like even get the data from scrims on how often you actually win rounds on the attack. Because again, I don't think it's going to be as bad as Gavutu from the Vanguard season rather, but that is not easy. What Boston just did. I mean, right from the jump, they get 2 Vaznevs in bottom green, already causing problems and slaying out of their minds. That is a phenomenal first round. And I have the mentality, if I ever win a round on offense on this map, I'm like, oh, GG, we got it in the bag.
Well, what a start. And Boston's certainly bringing the heat here. My picks are already running.
Oh, and this is it. And this is the spawn trap, by the way. This is where they actually have the control. This is where Boston never let themselves get put in. Now you have Atlanta FaZe truly stuck in the back. This is what I thought the standard was going to be. And just look at that tight setup from Boston. 2 players to worry about the left, 2 players to worry about that like big gate. And just nowhere you can really try to go. So tough to get out of.
Love this readjustment now from Boston. The covering fire there from Slasher enables his boys to get out. Bit of suppression. Fight the way forward as the kills are working out inch by inch. FaZe have managed to slip out. They've managed to get themselves closer towards A and immediately now oscillate from that top side of the map towards the A zone. Can they get forward? No. Vivid. Nice shots. Quick answer back here from Slasher. That's not going to be a problem whatsoever. The numbers now from Boston, though, chance starting to fade out. Only 2 alive at the moment.
And look, that is honestly incredibly well done to get out of the spawn trap by Atlanta FaZe, but it still takes 30 seconds to set all of that up. And then if you lose the gunfight to get traded, you're back to square one, but now they have the control, get a nice little 4 down, and plenty of players stacked up over towards A. So it took a long time to make it happen. Atlanta FaZe starting to make moves.
Atlanta FaZe! No, they hit the nade! The trophy doesn't arrive in time, whether it's a frag or a Semtex, it's Awakening and Methodz, and that is massive from Boston Breach. Time ticking. You don't finish the job at A, and this is huge. Boston holds it down. Keep it defensively sound. They are doing just that. 20 seconds. Keep FaZe down. Keep them in the arm bar. They're going to tap in 15.
Oh my God, what an absolute dagger. You finally get the success over towards A, 3 players stacked on point, and then they just make it rain with the nades. And yeah, I mean, good luck flooding out of this one.
They had to flood through the double doors there. You've got 3 ways out of your spawn, and none of them are very fun. And Atlanta FaZe, it was all in on the double doors. And Boston, perfect read. The guns were up. There was no hope in hell there. Well, chance 2 back-to-back on Fortress, brother.
And we didn't even get to the part where, like, all the time Atlanta FaZe had to like take, I think they sent 3 players out of Arch, had a couple different double chows come through to clear all these players out. It takes them 30 seconds to find that opening just to actually get over towards A. And then all that work, and they never got a trophy on it. So, like, there's so many things on offense you have to do right. But, I mean, hey, Boston, 1 for 1. We go again.
I like this. Out we go. Superman second from the air. Wow, Vivid, so fast, so furious, so dead to a teammate, unfortunately. But Awakening, the man to get the job done for a moment. Trophies down in the middle of the map. It's going to slow down the throwing of anything dangerous from the other side. aBeZy wins a big one there on the Nero. And now the line in the sand is drawn. Middle of the map, all now Atlanta FaZe. Eyes towards the Boston spawners. Let's see how Boston breaks out of the trap now.
And let's also see how long it takes, right? I think maybe a minute and 10 was on the clock when they first got that, you know, technical 4 down. So they're starting to make moves and trying to clear out aBeZy, and not a fun task to have to do. He's cornered up, ready to go. Really just no openings just yet. Finally, aBeZy's gonna fall, and I mean, that's what, 30-35 seconds that just went by before they even set foot on A. It takes so long to make things happen on offense.
Yeah, well, this is Simp. Ooh, managed to get behind. Not enough to get the kill on a Vivid. Damage dealt, nades out. Here comes the counter-attack from FaZe. Beautiful work now to push that front line forward. A sweet nade from Nero there off spawn. But is it enough to buy the space? As FaZe are being cut down as they try to rush to the power positions. The top side of the fortress there, what we call the single window. Slasher now holding it down alone. Standing on the zone, draining it. He knows the other team's going to be coming for him. And so far, great work, Chance. Over to B we now go, though. Clock stopped at 21 seconds.
And I think maybe one player left alive. I mean, keep in mind, obviously, FaZe already have the tough task of needing to win a round on offense. But as far as the tick game goes, if you get a full shutdown here, which that's looking like it's not going to be the case, at least one tick has come through so far. They don't quite get the shutout, so Boston are doing a nice job. 2 front war, man. Pressure over towards B. The players just stay alive and buy their teammates time to get the pressure over towards A, so Breach really are making moves on aBeZy.
Yeah, you draw the aggression all the way over from B, and Methodz is still alive over there. He's playing it slow and steady. aBeZy's going to get caught. Massive work. The second. Pistol. No! Cellium wins it. Quick draw there. 20 seconds, though, left now. Back over towards A. Finish your food, Vivid. A clean plate in this household, brother. That's that. A minute on the clock. 14 lives for Breach.
I mean, that's just point. Yeah, it's so massive as well, just to get A like secured as well, and the like tick over towards B. Because if they had gotten shut out, there would have been potential for Boston to end up on offense for the round 5 if we had gotten there. But I mean, they have just far and away, you know, exceeded my expectations for an attacking round. And I mean, still a minute left to work with. Plenty of pressure on the map. We'll see if they can make some magic happen again.
Yep. Watch out, though, Wake. That's a lot of stuff thrown at you, mate. Creeping, crawling, slipping, sliding, shooting. Simp winning it. Backline safe. Don't have to worry about that for a moment. Method's going to now go for it, but again, Simp's there.
Whoops.
Whoopsie daisy. These things happen. Nero with 2. That could be it. That's the wind in your sails. It's time to go.
Oh, man.
Left is Slasher. Slasher now down. Onto the point you go. This could be a perfect stack. There are so many members of Boston here to make this happen. Controls gone. B nearly finished. No way. No hope. Holy I thought it was going to be so defensively sided. We were all wrong. We've all been hoodwinked, bamboozled, swindled. It's a 3-0 on Control.
Yeah, GG, get smoked. Casters don't know what they're talking about. We don't understand the map, but you know who does? Boston Breach. Good Lord. In different ways as well, man. And this is like, it comes back to sort of the idea that these are players like Vivid, like Nero, that can play absurdly aggressive. They need to find ways to evolve, find those moments to slow down, and little things like that of when you get the pressure over towards the B side of the map, as long as you are staying alive and drawing that attention from the players on defense of Atlanta FaZe and letting your teammates get out of the base, work their way over towards A, and just keeping that map pressure up. I mean, that's the way to go. It's when you get pinned back in your spawn that you don't have a fun time. But I think Boston ever only fell into that trap for one moment. It took about 30-35 seconds to get out of it and just straight up never looked back. I mean, that's also positive KDs on the side of Boston with 2 offensive rounds, like straight across the board. I mean, that is, you know, it feels so ridiculous because of the setup that we just had, but that might be one of the best like aBeZy Control performances we see all year, and it was the first one.
It was the first one. Well, the bar is set incredibly high as we look across the highlights, which is essentially just Boston Breach having a good old time. Wow, what a look here, friends. Forget what you know. Forget what you've heard. Boston Breach have just changed the Call of Duty world in a single map. Wow. Atlanta FaZe down now here in the series as Boston. I mean, you brought your swimwear, I hope, friends, because we're going to HyDra for the next map in the hard point. We'll see if FaZe can bounce back here, because they're going to need it. Man alive chance. Everything we thought we knew, we didn't.
I feel so like, do I suck at Call of Duty this game? Like, I just don't understand. I think my like win rate on offense has to be at like 15%, and that's playing against like randoms as well, where you could just like, I don't know. I feel like that is an absurd performance. Maybe we'll see more of those. Maybe our expectations early on are just going to be straight up wrong, and maybe that'll carry over towards HyDra, because I know the expectation is a lot of water routes that are going to be taken on this map. So we'll see how it pans out. We'll see, yeah, as you said, who's got the swimming trunks on and is ready to go.
Well, we're all going to have our swimming trunks on as we go now to Røkkr Hydroelectric, which is, again, going to be very, very interesting. Hardpoint coming up next here, and then Atlanta FaZe need to stay afloat here in the series. Otherwise, we do see Boston take the first game of the year, going their way against a squad that I think most folks thought was going to go towards FaZe. It's just what we all do here in the CDL. They've trained us that way, friends. But again, if we do have to go to a Game 5 chance, it's going to be Search and Destroy and Mercado Las Almas, which I'm actually really excited to see. We've all played a lot of Mercado. But again, not really sure how this is going to go down. Scrims are one thing. We do get to see these matches played in the real thing. Everything ends up going, tits up, mate. But now, over to HyDra. Big thoughts. What do you got?
Well, big thoughts is I feel like it's just going to be a difficult map to predict. I mean, obviously, we're coming into this with zero data from like scrims and whatnot, but even like conceptually, just because of the water routes in my mind, there are so many things that you have to be on point with when it comes to rotations. And I think it's just a map that has a lot of opportunities to sort of create a little bit of funny business, like make some big plays, get those spawn flips out and abound. And it just seems like it's going to be one of the more difficult ones to be incredibly well coordinated on. So we already saw from Atlanta FaZe in the first two maps of like these guys have clearly done their homework. They've clearly like come in incredibly well prepared for this first week. But I mean, you got Boston doubling up on offensive rounds, then obviously the exact same thing can be said for these guys. And I'd say maybe the only final point on it is it will be another map in my mind where there is like a clear-cut good side to spawn on. I'm not sure who's going to get it off the jump for either of these teams, but certainly on the dome side of the map is where you want to be off the jump and set yourselves up for that P2 rotation. So just a map with a lot of opportunities, honestly.
Yeah, we'll see how it all goes, though. Plenty of routes to take, whether you are submerged or whether you're bone dry. It's going to be an interesting one. The first time we really see it take a hold of us here in the P2 season. Of course, not the first time we've seen water come into play in a competitive Call of Duty matchup. Chances we go way back to what, like BO3. There was water in that game. We had a little bit of water in BO4 as well. I mean, there's a trend here when it comes to Treyarch. But now IW, I could be getting this wrong. There's probably loads of water. I mean, I know the bridge and retaliation in Infinite Warfare killed you if you jumped off that into the water below. Must have been something to do with all the robotics and your player model there. But who knows, man? It's going to be a lot of fun as we get now into our next hard point. But mate, I'm shocked and surprised and slightly aroused at the fact that Boston are up, mate, in the series. I'm very surprised.
Well, and yeah, and just to touch on the water, I mean, Redwood had like a little tiny pond on it that you could like sort of use on occasion. Hunted another map that had like more of a like full pond area, but Zarqwa hydroelectric, by far the most extreme of the entire underneath portion of the map. I mean, just entire rivers that are designed down there. So the most extreme version of it that we've ever had.
It's like when if you played Elden Ring, you're like, wow, this place is huge. There's a whole subsection underneath nearly the entire map. It's exactly what it's like, but all of it is underwater. I want to see some pistol classes. I want to see somebody duking it out down there. Or if you go for the knife fight down low, like underwater with the old, like, you know, the prison shank down and on the sort of like low routes, we'll see what happens, mate. But this is going to be fun. This is honestly going to be very strange. First time we get to see HyDra played. No one thought, I mean, not many people thought, a lot of the pundits thinking that HyDra was going to get vetoed out for the majority of these hard points. The fact that we get to see it in our first series, for me, is quite a lot of fun.
And so I already feel bad. I feel like Boston's changing my opinion on sort of like the spawn traps on aBeZy, but I think in my mind, aBeZy hardpoint is probably going to be more commonly banned than HyDra, like by a mile. Because, well, especially if you're like the team B, I think it's going to be if you get the bad side on aBeZy from the jump, it's the same sort of situation which we thought was going to happen in control of getting spawn traps. So I think that's going to end up being the most common ban. So I think we're going to see a decent amount of HyDra throughout the year, especially through the earlier portions. Again, until results start coming through and we see who's great at it. Just because we've talked about the water so much, keep in mind the visibility down there isn't the best. So I think we're also gonna, occasionally see players swim right above and below each other and not even notice.
Yeah, it's very dirty, the water here in aBeZy. So far after a blistering start, though, Atlanta FaZe. Oh, Cellium!
Yeah.
Damn it. Shame. Vivid, though. He's still dripping wet. Will he get another kill feed as he makes his way towards mid-map? Again, not an easy read to make. You know that little water spot is there by P1, but Cellium, top dome, finds the kills. All good. Nero taking a bath.
Yeah, water route number one. Awakening tried to take his time to set up the flank early on, maybe to flip the spawns, but he gets red. And funnily enough, I mean, Atlanta FaZe does spawn on the good side, but I think with a team nade coming in from Cellium, and then Cellium also didn't watch the mid-map cut, Boston at least have battled out, and it's not like they built themselves a crazy lead, but they mitigated any damage that could have happened at the start of the game. That's good for step number one. Step number two is making the break over towards P2, and it's not looking like they're going to have a fun time.
Yeah, P2, far right-hand side of the map, FaZe in there. FaZe with the lead now. And Simp playing this position far forward, trying to hold these players back. He's got the entire mid lane to watch. There's one, the second not there. Nero buys the space. Meanwhile, underneath, another water flank taking place. 45 seconds on this one for Atlanta FaZe. Not as easy to hold, and look at that. It's Vivid. He has snuck on through. He's made it onto the point. He's got the kill. Is this enough to get the break?
And this is also just an important moment because the pinch is coming through. But Boston, you make at least a mini break, and it's not looking like it's going to last super long. I think the trophies are on the hill, so Nero shouldn't be able to connect. And they're still fighting for it, man. 25 seconds left, and they still want to make moves and get these players off time. Keep in mind, we saw Cellium on a 5. He's going to get shut down before he can at least double up on those streaks. Looks like Atlanta FaZe secure for those final 15 seconds, but Boston, they turned that into a fight. They had no map control at all and at least stripped away a few seconds. So it's not a great situation, but it could have been worse.
Much worse. All good now for FaZe, though. A solid lead over towards the next hard point we now go, and it's going to be Boston all day, baby. They're going to find this opening time. Will they be able to hold on to it, though? Methodz keeps the middle of the map safe, not letting FaZe get out of that old hard point. Finally, though, an opening here, a window to dive on through. Will we see that dive take place? Again, Nero, the next line of defense, and what a line it was. Backed up with Vivid there in the feed. FaZe have been slowed right down.
Yeah, and again, you know, talked about it a bit on aBeZy, sort of that like exchange style of the hard points. If you win one hill, a lot of the times it's going to just set up the team for the next one in line. So P3 has been nothing but Boston's, and it's not looking like that's going to stop anytime soon. The trades are on point, the map control is there, and just like that, one strong hold and you are right back in the game. And on top of that, you got the lead.
Vivid, okay, for those of you who noticed on the mini-map, Vivid hit this route. He got over to this point in time with like 35 seconds left on the point. A massive rotation.
Damn.
A big win from aBeZy. He was in the back corner there for quite some time. FaZe now with an opportunity to take the lead back as this pendulum keeps swinging here in the hard points of MW2.
And Slasher might be able to set himself up for a free kill or two towards the middle of the map to sort of slow this push down, and gets the free first one, has to earn the second, but FaZe nice and secure on the rotation. If Boston won the last hill, FaZe should be set up for this one. So you see the cheeky idea from Vivid to try to make a play, but if it doesn't pay off, you got a long way to go to make the break.
Big work out of Boston, though. Fought their way forward. Inch by inch, they're in. Methodz are top of the ruins now, looking for any sort of red head. I'm not talking about the Gingers. I'm talking about Atlanta FaZe. He's got some suppressing fire there. The hard point open for now. No one getting any time. It's not terrible for either team. Rotation's now going down. And there is a sneaky Simp making his way over. Or a submerged Simp. I take it back.
Scuba Simp?
Swimming Simp.
There you go.
And now a soaking Simp. Into the kill feed he goes. That's going to be the next one up. Hard point, though, still in the hands of Boston.
Always been amphibious and now can do a little bit of parkour to try to work his way around the backside of the map. And yet parkour and bound spider Simp as well, dude. We got all the Simps in full force.
Wow, so many Simps everywhere. Unbelievable. We're back on Twitch. I think we can say that. Either way, though, hard points up. FaZe have managed to fight their way in. There's a sneaky Simp helping make that play happen.
Okay, dude. Well, I mean, hey, Atlanta FaZe, with all that work that they're doing to try to work the pinch, I mean, this is a hill where Boston got the early rotation to, and they get more or less broken straight from the jump. So one of those moments of the game where that exchange sort of style in hardpoint is not paying off for Boston, and eventually they're able to reclaim that control, reclaim the title, but a bit of a deficit they're now going to have to try to crawl their way out of. And even long term, if we're thinking about it, all of this, and we're just back to square one, it is Atlanta FaZe controlling the right side of the map. They're going to be set up long term for P2. So Boston, it's exactly like it was at the start of the game, except now they're down by 30.
Lovely form there from Vivid. A lovely time now to quite literally dive into Boston Breach for a quick listen in.
Yeah, nice. I'll see red.
He's on top, I think.
Okay.
Bottom,
I'm
I'm playing the dome. Nice. I'm plugging the dome. Yeah, you're here. Okay.
Top dome dead.
I'm in dome right now. Bottom dome.
10.
He's our side time.
He's shot my
Big time.
He's there. First time, easy.
I'm starting dome.
Watch out on me. Nice.
Last guy's, he's in
Big
new.
time. I need dome.
They're gonna hit.
Don't push. I got it. Major don't push. I need them. I did not stun him.
Top dome. Top dome.
I'm stunned here, bro. They have trophies.
One
I'm over you guys.
No, he's in 10.
Right side 10.
I know we're on.
He's still dome. I stunned him. Right side 10.
Okay. One shot and then
Right there. 210.
Top dome.
Top dome. Push up ramp. I'm coming right with you.
I steal up.
Front P2. Okay.
Steal up.
I'm coming right with you.
He's still L. aBeZy.
Yo, one's below me broken, I believe.
Yeah, they push out.
One shot. His stummy broken.
One's gonna go in the corner, bro.
I'm back. Yeah, they're spawning out. I don't see him top dome. Dashy's spawning out. He's bottom broken. Broken.
No, I'm done. I didn't even know all in one time.
I'm broken. He's broken. Yeah, I'm shouting. I spawned back. Broken. Good job.
Yeah. No, the one's in front of me.
I have time right now. I'm laying down her. He's still front.
I'm a front shot. There's gonna be too front right now. Stop.
Oh, watch out, Austin. I did it. Watch out, go.
mean, Chance, the way comms are having to evolve here in MW2, I mean, play is so fast, the time to kill is so fast. I mean, the way the movement works in this game, you can really make moves across map. Your communication has to be more on point, maybe than ever.
Absolutely. And again, this is what I think Boston needs, is like find these little ways to evolve, including the comms, and also from Vivid. I mean, Vivid over the past few years has been like the highest engagement, full speed ahead player in the league. But what we've seen from him on HyDra so far, he's been the route man, the guy blocking the spawn, finding a way to be annoying. And he's the guy that opened up the P2 hill for his team. So Vivid already a player making adjustments on, and he is obvious. Well, speaking of routes, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, dude, every time we go to a Boston player, they're underwater. It's great, man. I mean, we were like, yeah, no one's going to get the water. Yeah, they are. Vivid.
Oh,
Gets
God.
himself a couple, and Simp now on a spree. So with that being said, you're keeping the kills going. FaZe is still in the driver's seat as far as the time goes. Here we go, though. Counterattack from Boston, trying to get the break here onto the point. From up top, we're going to have Methodz making his way forward. Slasher, prone. What an angle to take that fight from. Not an easy place to find kills. Awakening with Vivid in the feed. This is all good. Slasher, though, keeps the backline safe. Oh, no, but aBeZy's getting picked apart. For now, you've kept the hard point safe, but you have not been able to get in there. Good work out of Boston, but not enough for the trophies. Here come FaZe, and it's Slasher in the feed.
And honest to God, on a hill like that, that is good work from Boston. But even with all that good work, it's still only to strip away maybe an extra 15 seconds. So you're going in a hill where they pretty much need the full 60 to get back in the game. And aBeZy, well, he's starting off for Atlanta. They want to make this break, and maybe everybody gets their moment to shine and swim.
Not out of the woods just yet, though. Boston with the ability to pull the lead back right here, right now. The top of Methodz, a difficult gunfight to take there from Slasher. He's going to give it the old college try. Time keeps on going. Precision airstrikes now lighting up the inside of HyDra. Here comes Vivid once again, submerged, out and about, into the feed, gets the job done from the heady. Brig work out of Methodz. The line is now held as Breach back on the point.
I mean, hey, maybe not the full 60 they were hoping for with the streak coming through, but they get the job done towards the end, and that final 20-25 seconds will go their way, and right back in the game. So all things squared away over towards that rotation. You see the battle Methodz, though, just gets caught out, and that is a nice clean 3 in the feed for Atlanta. And look at how aggressive they're actually being on this map just for the setups at the start of this hill.
Yeah, great stuff. New hard points up. If we go to the generators, that's in the middle of the mini-map. Stranglehold still being applied by Atlanta FaZe, though. And from behind, though, once again, Boston Breach. It's Methodz. Slasher's in trouble.
And where are they looking to? Slasher is just now turned around. They completely gave up the back of the map. They gave it up. They had to have had a game plan, and then they just don't turn around. And Boston just get gifted the break on this hard point.
Boston Breach break. Can Boston Breach hold? 30 seconds remaining on the point. This is looking like a tie game, and what a way to do it. Boston right back into this one, kicking and screaming. And here comes FaZe trying to make their way through, and it's going to be a slow and steady approach. Slow and steady ain't going to win this race. It's not at all. Methodz keeps finding the kills. Now the pinch is on. Here comes a hit from Water. Vivid's there. Lead change. Boston in the lead.
I mean, they just like made a present, gift wrap, bow tied, and hand delivered it to Boston. Opened up the game for him.
God.
And over towards P1, Methodz is chopping them down along the way. His team will have the full setup. Players on dome, players on the bridge, and a man in the hill. Good luck trying to break this one. And more importantly for Boston, even long term, should we see a P2, they have the spawns as well.
Cellium gets the fishing job done. That's going to be that taken care of, though. Vivid now over towards the point. No FaZe members. Wow, no. Slasher somehow stays alive. He's still in position to take care of this point and keep these players out. But it's 20 seconds for the win right now for Boston Breach. Holding it down. They can get the win here. Awakening, playing sneaky, playing safe. It's 10 seconds now for the bloody win chance. No one from FaZe able to get anything done.
And no, they're not going to, man. You hand away the game like that, Boston are just going to run you over. 3 more seconds, all the kills in the feed. And I just don't know what the hell I just watched from Atlanta. I just straight up do not know, but already expectations out the window. Everyone picked Atlanta over Boston. Wrong. Well, I think most people, at least I thought, no one's winning offense on all bagger fortress control. Wrong. Boston got it done. And at that moment, though, stands out like a sore thumb. Why the hell are Atlanta FaZe pushed so far up the map on P4? I don't exactly have track yet, like on the generator hill, and just leave the back spawns open and then just no reaction to it. Like, I don't know if these guys in scrims have like figured that hill out to the details to where they know they're blocking spawns X, Y, and Z, but somewhere along the line, they dropped the ball. That looks painful on the minimap as this setup. So maybe they have something next level on the hill, but they do not execute there. They get punished for it, and they're going to get handed their first L of the year.
Wow, what an upset there on Røkkr Hydroelectric in just under 11 minutes. Boston Breach have shocked the Call of Duty world and stolen what is to be hopefully the first of many incredible upsets here in the 2023 season. Modern Warfare 2, after a blistering start already, Atlanta FaZe Boston Breach comes to a close. The highlights now on screen, and Chance, wow, what a start to the season.
And look, man, we have Vivid again for the past few years, most aggressive player in the league by a mile. We're seeing him be the route man now, and obviously on a map like HyDra, a lot of opportunities to be the route man, but certainly an adjustment in play style there. We have Big Wake on a brand new team doing his thing, and now he had just a little bit more backup, certainly so in this series, but like main Slayer, top damage, lighting things up in S&D, so good looks there. I mean, this is just across the board, nothing but positivity from Boston. I would say really the only thing that truly stood out as a mistake on the behalf of Boston Breach was the AC hill they had on aBeZy, where just no one watched the ladder. And I mean, whether that was a comm things or just great timing from aBeZy, outside of that, the Call of Duty they played in this series was, you know, it's only the first series we had, but second to none, you know?
Hey, what a start. My good gosh, what a start. Incredible opening to the season here. I've got no idea, Chance, what to even say, think, or feel. So I'm going to throw it to three far more capable human beings. It's back over the desk. Guys, what an opening series.
Yes. We are not mad here in the studio. Boston Breach fans not upset with the new pickup as Wake made his presence felt in this one. Allie, we got to talk about this. Is this technically an upset? According to the coaches' polls, it is, but this is a brand new game.
Yeah, no, according to the coaches' polls, according to last year, this certainly would have been an upset, but you're right, it is a new game, and I love to say that every year when I start to have some hot takes, because you just don't know. It could be the game for these players, and I will say the player that impressed me the most has to be Big Wake. I feel like I was a big criticizer of him last year. I felt like he definitely had a presence on the map when it came to engagements, but I was waiting to see some heads-up plays. We certainly saw that in the S&D. We saw it in the dominance and control. I have been surprised across the board, and now I really see what he has added to this Boston Breach roster. I'm excited to see what he does going forward.
Yeah, and that was just wonderfully played by the Boston Breach. I mean, across the board. The offense on Fortress, just insane. In the breakout on that map, you have to get pushed up to arches. You just have to. You have to win those initial gunfights. And they did it not once, but twice on that map. And then also, like, so early in the game to be capitalizing on the mistakes of a team like Atlanta FaZe. Yeah. We saw it on Generator Hero. 3 people pushed all the way up. Cellium, Simp, and aBeZy thinking they could put them in the spawn trap blender. Nope, they take the water out all the way around the back. It is Vivid both times who does it. P2 and on Generators, taking those routes to flip those spawns. You see, doesn't matter if you have the gunny. If the other team outperforms you, out-rotate you, they will get that win, and that's what we saw Boston.
I was looking at some of the numbers here, and Vivid went 25-25 that last game. That's 50 engagements. That is more than anyone else in the lobby, and he had 3,000 damage, the second on his team. So that Game 4 hardpoint, I'm excited to watch Vivid. Talk to me about the guns, though, because I saw a whole lot of ARs, and then the SMGs came running amok. What do we expect to see moving forward after getting one match underneath our belt?
I think in the beginning of the series, it was a lot of M4s, and I feel like everybody instantly was like, oh, wow, this is a disaster with how many M4s are on the map right now. But I feel like as the series went on, we started to see the sub players get a little bit more comfortable, because in the beginning of that first hardpoint, I believe Nero is the only one that really kept a sub out the entire time, and obviously, at least KD-wise, we could see that he was struggling. But as the series went on, I feel like him and Simp got a little bit more comfortable pulling out that Vaznev. So again, I think we still need a couple more series under our belts, but I know the timeline has already been hot and crazy about what guns are being pulled out.
Let us know what you want to see, chat. We're all ears, and guess what? We don't control any of it. Nameless, though, we got to revisit one moment here. You called it the play of the series. This is our Scump play of the game, and it's coming from Control. Talk to me about what we saw.
Oh, well, we're going to talk about this offense. We don't have it, but in the very beginning, in the break-off is when it was mostly like, just, I can't believe what they're doing right now. being able to get out of maps, all three of you, and get those kills and get control is absolutely insane. But you see right here, right now, it's a 4v7, and there's not a lot of time left on the clock, and they're trying to pick apart Atlanta FaZe, and they're just getting up close and personal, winning 2 gunfights, and you can see that player gets behind, but he ends up falling. aBeZy picked up a big 2-piece, but one player gets behind the Methodz, and he's just taking his time trying to find these kills.
Yeah, no, this play was what really confused me again. It was a 2v6 at one point by the end of this offense, but I will say the fact that Cellium, he wasn't really in the gunfight, but he knew that player was there and got weak by them. I'm more shocked as a player that MC is that he didn't try to instantly rechow that. Instead, completely ignored the player in the back and pushed up to arches to play for those players hitting the front side, which I understand to maybe try to get the pick and then play for the guy in the back, but it didn't seem like that ever happened at all. They instantly got shot on the back. Methodz made that push for them to win that offense. That again, they won one and they had no business winning that second one. And I don't feel like we will see that happen again anytime soon on that map and mode.
We also have to mention Big Wake, that round 5 1v2 clutch at the end. That may have been the big game-changing moment in this series. Let's talk to the captain. He now joins us live. We got the Muba, aka Methodz, my man from Jersey, now representing Boston. How we feeling, Methodz? You just took down Atlanta FaZe.
Chris, it is good to see your beautiful face. aBeZy was talking a lot on the flank last night. He was talking about how FaZe 3-0, he's going to put a parlay in. So I want to see how that parlay is doing now.
I like these calls. I like these calls. Methodz, I did want to bring you on mostly to talk about this new lineup, right? You guys made a big roster change in the offseason, a lot of questions around it. How do you feel about the roster, and how do you guys feel you performed against Atlanta FaZe here in the opening week?
Yeah, well, my teammates have no respect and are talking in my ear, so how about you give me some silence? Listen, Big Joe, the new addition, is disgusting. Obviously, I didn't know a lot about him coming into this year, but I'm not going to lie, from the outside looking at, I was like, that guy's quiet. He's a no fun guy, but it's actually the exact opposite. I mean, we're having a blast over here. He's dirty. I heard you guys say the 1v2 clutch. I was ready to slap his ass after that one, but obviously a big match against FaZe, especially a team like that. I think everybody, or most people, go into that and think FaZe easy win or FaZe close it out, but luckily able to, I guess, upset them and hopefully carry that into tomorrow.
I think my biggest surprise for me was looking at that map veto set, seeing Fortress back-to-back in S&D and Control, obviously, as the way vetoes go. Is that something that fell into y'all's favor? I mean, heading before the season even started, we're like, Fortress S&D is very chaotic. It plays a bit like a respawn into Control. You're talking about a very, very difficult defensive spawn trap to get out of. Were you guys, not worried heading into those two back-to-back?
I'm always worried spawning into aBeZy Fortress. I think right now, I think the thing is with opening weekend is we just have nothing on FaZe, right? There's not enough maps played. We're going in blind and we don't know what they're good at or they don't know what we're good at and vice versa. So the first weekend's a little tricky because it's sort of just veto and hope for the best. I don't want to talk too much about our vetoes, but I think we were confident on every single map in the series. But aBeZy can get sketchy in Control, but 2 offensive wins. I'm not sure how we pulled that out of the hat, but I'm not complaining.
Zin, congratulations on the win. That is a massive W, especially in the Control, winning 2 offenses. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about your gun meta on your squad. Do you guys have set hills where you're switching out weapons? Because we saw on that map 1, it was almost 8 M4s on the map at one point, and or is it at the discretion of a player like Nero to be in this situation, I'm just going to pull out an M4 if I'm in a blender?
Yeah, I mean, Nero does sometimes pull out the M4 if he's in a blender. I think just based on the way the maps play out and sort of the way the spawns work, it can get pretty AR heavy on some of these hills on some of these maps just because you essentially spawn on cuts and you can essentially cut the map quickly off spawn. But I think as the game develops, we'll see. I think it'll become a little more clear what hills you're going to see different metas on. But as of right now, I think it's just... I don't even know. All I know is I'm running the AR. That's all I know. I don't know what the hell I don't know what these guys use. All I know
so you don't
is that
have
sometimes...
Set, yeah.
Not really. I mean, if Nero's getting smoked, sometimes he'll bring out the AR. He doesn't get smoked very often, but if I'm getting smoked, I am not bringing out the SMG. I will stick with the AR.
Hey, you guys are walking away with the W. Keep those strats to yourself for now. Methodz, before you go, though, anything you want to say to the Boston fans who have been cheering you on? We're over 100,000 strong in the Twitch chat right now.
I mean, first and foremost, Twitch.tv. I mean, guys, real quick, can we spam Winnie in the Twitch chat? Let me open it up real quick, guys. If you, I just want, can we spam Winnie or Walston or something? Listen, my teammates are crazy. The Boston Breach fans are also crazy. I mean, we are the newest team in the CDL, and last year's support was crazy. We have the Major II in Boston, and I can't wait to leak the food spots and the bars and all that. So. Come to Major II. Boston's going to be dope. We toured the venue. I hope to see all you guys in Raleigh, but I think we're in for a good year. Chris, welcome back. Like I said, it's great to see that beautiful face.